are impossible with the AI-powered Legion Pro 7i, Lenovo Legion.
Alrighty then, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back once again to the Lenovo and Intel presents India's Top Gamer featuring Mythpat-R6X. My name is Blackjack. Joining me once again is my co-host Santa, as we are back for some more beautiful Rainbow Six Siege X. Yes, sir, it is a fine evening indeed, and we hope everybody at home is having a great weekend, as I'm sure we are here at the production. Santa, how are you feeling today?
Absolutely amazed, absolutely ready for the event because today it's a decider for one of the teams. So let's go ahead and see who's going to go forward and who's it's going to be like a learning experience. That's pretty much on the boards. We already saw the teams working. And yes, to answer the question, I'm super excited. Had a lot of tea to get that energy. And let's have some C6 action.
Absolutely, folks. So, for those who might be joining us and may have missed yesterday was the upper bracket finals, or you could call it semifinal one, but this is a double bracket situation, so of course upper bracket final is the more fitting name, between Won't Stop Peeking and Team Uwu, which ended up in a 2-1 victory for Team Uwu, who have moved forward to the grand finals. Now, because it's an upper bracket, you can assume there's a lower bracket, and that is exactly what we'll be having today, the lower bracket final between, of course, Won't Stop Peeking and Zero Kelvin. And as you can see, the brackets are in front of you right now. You can see the journey that these teams have taken to get here, and it has been quite the journey indeed. Zero Kelvin, they were knocked down to the lower bracket by Team Uwu, 0-2 at that too. However, they won against Allegiance 2-1, and now they're facing up against Won't Stop Peeking, who also lost to Team Uwu. So both teams here, they're technically, whoever wins, it's going to be a grudge match tomorrow, the grand finals, but tonight it's going to be a fight for the right to get to that grudge match. And of course, one team will win, one team will have to settle for third place.
Yes, indeed. And a point to be noted over here, Won't Stop Peeking. They faced Uwu. I believe they have faced Kelvin a lot of times earlier. I definitely remember them playing against Allegiance. We'll talk more about it, but let's take a look at the prize pool. It's 50,000 Indian rupees, ladies and gentlemen, which is divided as first place 25,000, second 15, third gets 10,000. So yes, get ready. A lot of action, a lot of amount is involved. Not to forget about Lenovo and Intel, and go for it.
Oh yes, it is quite the amount of money that they are fighting for, that is for sure. Right now, of course, today, who will be third place in getting that 10,000 will be decided, but as we discussed yesterday, it's not just about the money, it is about the fun, the experience, and the fact that you get to fight against some of the best in the region. For this game we all love, Rainbow Six Siege X. With all that said, of course, tonight's match, folks, it is going to be a good one. Certainly looking like maybe another map 3 contender, especially with Won't Stop Peeking and how volatile they tend to be with their playstyle, as we saw yesterday, right? Because again, you go from a 7-2 victory in map number 1, then lose 1-7 and 3-7 respectively in maps 2 and 3. And I understand, Team Uwu is a very, very strong team. That roster, they do not play around. However, at the same time, Won't Stop Peeking certainly showed us a glimpse of what they are capable of in their good days, and we certainly hope to see more of that tonight in this particular matchup. But with all that said, of course, there you go. That is the matchup screen on your devices, on your screens in front of you right now. And I'll tell you what, these two teams, they've got quite the task ahead of them. Of course, Zero Kelvin right now are probably playing a little bit more underdog than Won't Stop Peeking is, because Won't Stop Peeking, of course, we saw them, we've seen them for years at this point, that team name and several members of that team to speak of. And on the other side, Zero Kelvin, well, they are a roster that has a few newer names, that has, of course, some older names as well. It's a mix, and we'll have to see if this roster can show us a new name for South Asian Siege to cheer for.
Yes, indeed, new name most likely possible. Talking about Won't Stop Peeking, we saw how they played yesterday, and they are ready for today's battle. Just that, yesterday they had a bit of challenge against Uwu, hence they are competing in the lower brackets. When we talk about Kelvin, they played against this team, and somewhere kind of like, they both know each other pretty well, I would say. All that's possible on the maps, and talking about the maps, we have Consulate and Chalet as a change, and the decider will be in Cafe Dostoevsky. Let's go. Now, you know what, Blackjack, I definitely want this maps to go all the way to the decider. Why not have a lot of siege action, and particularly for Cafe Dostoevsky?
Cafe Dostoevsky, a map that we have seen so many times, and a map that certainly gets quite the exciting games. I will agree on that front, Santa. However, of course, the map that we're going to be starting off on is Consulate, picked by Won't Stop Peeking, a map that is a little bit more divisive, if I do say so myself. I hate it. Hate is a strong word. I don't necessarily like playing on it. Yeah. It's more so the dissonance between playing on a map like Consulate and, of course, commentating on it, because casting Consulate is fun. I get to see things that I normally wouldn't when actually playing on the map, and that is true for all the maps, yes, but it's particularly fun for maps that, maybe you personally don't like. In my case, that extends to both Lair and New Consulate. I keep calling it New Consulate even though it's been in the game for... how long has it been? At least three seasons by now? So it's been there for a while. But at the end of the day, some might call it a skill issue. But you know what? We're going to find some skills here. We're going to get into the game right now. Won't Stop Peeking versus Zero Kelvin, as we already have the bans coming in. Valkyrie and Ace to start us off. Not surprised with the Valkyrie ban, first things first on Consulate, because she is so good at hiding her cameras in so many corners and areas that you just don't expect. And on the other side, of course, you have the Thermite and a Zombie ban. More standard Breacher ban set coming out here. But of course, it's not just the bands, it is the players on both sides. Buckinator, Desmond, Disciple, I'm Noob AF, and Vinci from Won't Stop Peeking. And on this side from Zero Kelvin, we have Altair, Easy Clap, I'm Extreme, Sharp Edge, and Cobra.
Yes, of course, and these guys have done a lot of devastation in the prior plays. So this particular matchup is a big time thing for both the teams. Oh, why not? It's the stage where it's one chance, and after that it's like tata bye bye for one of the team. They have to wait for the next and then try it again. And for the other team, the winner, they'll be moving forward. So it's a knockoff, and both the teams will definitely give their best of the best. Now, talking about the play, being the attackers, we have seen what Won't Stop Peeking has done time and again. Now it's all up to Zero Kelvin to make the best defenses, and looking the way they covered a lot of areas, be it the Talos area or the region nearby the office, it's pretty looking good.
All right. So, of course, site is on the first floor this time around to start us off, and it's very clear that Zero Kelvin has an idea of potentially how to go about this. Of course, the rooms in question, Exposition Room and Piano Room, excuse me. I still love that name, Exposition Room, which is like the level design team said, you know what, we're just calling this room the same thing you would call a long dialogue scene that just explains everything, right? Exposition. It's just one of those, trivia tidbits that always gets a laugh out of me. Regardless, we've got drones coming in from Won't Stop Peeking. As we all know, it's round number 1. Both teams are kind of probing each other, figuring each other out, seeing what the defense is capable of, seeing what moves the attack is going to make. And it is, of course, given that it's first floor, there's going to be a lot of vertical presence. This is one thing that New Consulate is actually really good at, and that is a lot of verticality. There is definitely a top-down defense aspect to this map that not many competitive maps have, which are more horizontal to speak of. The Mira, interesting position to be in here on West Corridor, looking into the side with the Castle Barricade helping her. Desmond taking a little shot, still alive, more than healthy for that matter, as we have Altair being lit up right now. Never mind, Buckinator comes around, gets that first kill, that's a big one, and the Goya's been spotted inside of the bomb site as well. So the action, it's about to pop off.
Lots being done, and 5v4 scenario, particularly, that's a troublesome one, and with this, it opens up a lot of possibilities. Desmond off the mark. Buckinator low, so not so possible for him to do as he usually goes for. Now, with this scenario, it's all up to Disciple and Vinci to make a connection, and looks as if they are well prepared. Disciple knows for sure. Player peeking around the corner, but on the other front, Vinci gets a big one. That was a beautiful trade, 3v3 as of now. Got to see what Clap is gonna do, but Sharp Edge gets a big one on the other front. Oh my goodness, it's need to be covered, and there we go, an equalizer on immediately. Disciple low, and he has to get this 2k done for the round to go into the name, but seems as if it's covered from both the angles. Not a lot of room to work with. And you know what, Clap and Sharp both has a very good approach over him.
Coming around the corner, he's going to find the Jaeger unawares of his position. Beautifully done. However, he's got to be careful of the bandit on the top floor right now. Clap is sitting and waiting, but he's moving around a lot. That might give away the sound cue of his position. And there we go. He has diffuser. He's going to go for the plant, and that is a good decision as well, given how little time there is. The drop from the hash comes in, but it's a post-plant situation. 40 seconds on the clock now for Clap to come in and get something going. Shots fired, and that's going to give away where the Grim is at least a little bit. You've got a big wall here, and the bandit, he's running around trying to find Disciple right now. He comes into the hallway, west corridor. This is where it's going to happen. He's hung in the corner right by the door. He doesn't know. And Disciple will go for the peek at the right moment. Beautifully done, beautifully executed, and saves the round for the team as well. A much needed clutch to get things started. Won't Stop Peeking, taking round one.
Right in the beginning, a big banger, and with that, a beautiful opening for the team. This is where Won't Stop Peeking will start their domination, is what I feel so. Now, if it happens exactly or not depends on the players as well as the team. So we got to wait for the same to happen. So moving on to round two, got to see how Zero Kelvin is going to counter the same, whether they would be able to, you know, equalize the score or not. And I'm kind of expecting, let's say, possibility, but if it's so or not is kind of a question lingering on the corner. Talking about Won't Stop Peeking, they have definitely showed a bit of strategy. Now we are only speaking about one round. Let's see how this one goes, and then I can for sure say they have walked in with a better plan.
10 seconds to go.
I think it has to be said that Buckinator getting that
5
first
seconds
kill
left.
on the castle on top floor certainly helped, right? Because
Yes.
that's the thing that I was mentioning earlier, that verticality on that first floor piano site is very, very important, and it's very important for the attackers to at least dismantle it a little bit. Now, of course, you know, credit where credit is due, Zero Kelvin still held vertical pretty well all the way till the end, and honestly, Clap probably could have just... Actually, no, in that 1v1, there was very little Clap could realistically do now that I think about it. As I was going to say, maybe he could have done this or that, but, you know, hindsight is 20/20, as they say. It's always going to be a case of, could he have done this? Could he have done that? At the end of the day, the play he made was what he thought was best, and, you know, I got to give him, you know, props for that. Regardless, right now, on second floor, of course, verticality is not that much of a concern. You do have Buck, who could go down below and blow up the floor beneath you, and that's something to watch out for. However, Desmond needs to get there first, and I'm pretty sure somebody's going to be on the room. Wait a minute, shots fired. Desmond, as I say his name, he takes the first body, and that Sharp Edge gone, the Legion, and those goo mines no longer active. Whatever was already deployed will be what's, you know, the attackers have to watch out for. That's a good start for Won't Stop Peeking.
Absolutely a good start for sure, and the rappel kind of is gonna be a trouble for the player, and that's where a bit of rotation would happen. Another hole being created, seems as if a connection is possible indeed. They have a bit of queue, so working around it, and I can expect a frag immediately. I mean, his kill is right around the corner. Look at the way the positions, they know for sure. Here's where a flashbang can add on, and for sure, is that best for the play? Yes, indeed. He's making a path through the corner. Get ready. Couple of kills just about to happen.
It is going to go down. We've got the entry coming in. I believe Disciple might have actually rappelled in. No, he hasn't yet. Call goes out from the Dokkaebi, the Logic Bomb. In effect, of course, giving away some of the positions. Of course, sound cues, so very important. You've got the Nomad. He really wants to get in here, Disciple, you can see, but he's waiting for the clear, and he's got time. 45 seconds remaining. Oh, he's going to go in, but the smoke grenade comes out. Desmond actually finds Extreme on the other side, but Cobra fires back with 1 kill of his own. Vinci to fall. Altair is so low as well. Got to be careful of the gunfights you choose to pick from there on out, but that smoke is doing such a good job of stalling. Disciple runs in again, and the peak is not successful. Altair goes down. The Frost Peaks actually gets one. Can he get 2? Yes, he does. Clap. Beautiful timing right there, and beautiful shot selection, managing to stop the plant from happening. But Desmond with the skeleton key, that might just be the key to the round, as it's all down to Amnube AF, the last one, well, one of the ones getting affected by the FNATs. He's gonna find Cobra on the other side, and the Goyo will fall. A little bit more stable from the side of Won't Stop Peeking this time around, though that rappel was a little bit questionable, a little bit. The Frost Peak shouldn't have been allowed given where the Twitch was standing, or repelling I should say, but in the end, they won the round. That's what they need to focus on. They are 2-0 up.
Yes, 2-2-0. This is what is in store from quite some time for sure. I mean, I have expected sort of situation wherein I also expected that Zero Kelvin will try and equalize the situation. But seems as if the plan with which Won't Stop Peeking has walked in with the aggressiveness that we usually see when they are the attackers, now that's in place. So that's where the things are turning into the favor. Now, how exactly Zero Kelvin is going to counter it is a question that's still there. So round number 3, got to see if the reinforcements can hold up, and the way Zero Kelvin is kind of making second floor as their strong suit so far. Not so working great, but this could be round where they can back the first one.
All things considered, you know, I'm pretty sure that a buck ban might end up being considered before round 4 starts for the third ban of this first half here. Desmond has been pretty successful so far. I mean, maybe not so in round 1, but round 2, yeah, those 3 kills were pivotal for the team. I like the inclusion of Malusi this time from Altair, bringing in those, you know, Banshee deterrents, or what as I like to call them, because of the sound that they make. It pretty much reminds me of 2016 dubstep. And on the other side, you've got pretty much the same lineup from the defenders from Zero Kelvin. The Jaeger is an interesting choice, though. Some might say that Wamai might be a better pick to hide those magnets and get utilities out of the way. You know, better, faster, question mark, it will always be. However, the main point here is, I think, the gun, right? The MP5K is great, don't get me wrong, but nothing beats the classic 416C, and that is exactly why Sharp Edge is probably going for Jaeger, one of the long-standing menaces when it comes to Rainbow Six. Breach on the single wall here has been done, and that, of course, is a single wall outside of meeting room, and an entry that's been made. Red pings are coming out as well from the drones. The intel is in hand, and it's all now up to Won't Stop Peeking. They've got a good idea of where people are and where to potentially go from. All they have to do is find that first body, that first domino, and no, they will be in there.
The first domino we spoken about, so got to see if that's been taken out. It's kind of like a fall effect, and have to be ready. The wires in place, and seems as if they are working on the sound cue just a little more. A quick peek, the flashbang worked in, yes indeed, kind of like did it a little bit, but on the other front, Buckinator quickly gets the best, but no, falls down immediately. Buckinator gone. It's a 3v4, seems as if one more Vinci was not supposed to go down, and it is Desmond for the save along with Disciple. 2v3. Disciple making a mark right along with Desmond. Let's go. The deadly duo is in place. And ladies and gentlemen, the flames are not gonna stop Desmond as far as I know, but Disciple in big time trouble. It's not working in the favor. The health quite so low, but still manages to get the frag. Let's go. It's all up to Sharp Edge to get this 2K done. And seems as if he's well prepared, but on the other front, the diffuser, it's in place. Time not in the favor, 20 seconds on the clock. A lot of utilities being utilized over here. Desmond makes a big move on the other front, the flash. Oh, it's looking big, but seems like the trap is set. I'm getting excited for this particular one.
The 1v2 for Sharp Edge. He's got to do what I believe it was Disciple who did that in the first round. So it's going to be a counter 1v2 if he's successful in this. He's moving around all the way to Secretary Desk into Console Office, but this might be seen. Yes, it will be. He's going to peek around and get found by Disciple. Beautifully done. The 2v4, I believe that was, between Desmond and Disciple. Call them the D&D because they've just completely flipped the script, just like how you would in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. D&D, get it? That's the joke. Haha. Anyway, we have ourselves a 3-0 going into round number 4, and of course that means the final bans for the first half are coming in for both teams. And once again, this is where we get to see if we have target bans or if we have more generic map-based bans. No, we do have a little bit more of both. Fenrir going to get banned, of course. That is a little bit of a target ban. As we've seen Fenrir be played all 3 rounds between both teams. And of course, FNAT, those FNATs, I'll tell you what, they are annoying to deal with, especially in a pinch. On the same side, Gridlock, that is a ban that is a bit more targeted than even Fenrir, because we've seen those track stingers completely shut down movement opportunities for the defense. And Zero Kelvin are like, all right, you know what? We've had issues with Buck, we've had issues with the Twitch, but most importantly, get rid of Gridlock. That way we can move around a little bit better and we can possibly take control where we weren't able to before. I also like the switch up of the site. They've decided to go to basement this time around. Of course, garage, arguably the best site of Consulate, at least in old Consulate that certainly used to be the case. Here in New Consulate, maybe a little bit more contested. But with all that said, I'm looking at Disciple right now, who is deciding to switch into the Montaigne. And given that it's a basement site, I do understand it, as we are now fully into round 4.
Very well executed, I would say, and here's where the mind play walks into the picture. They know the map, they know the players. So executing one after the other. It's all about the execution. The strategy is already there. And 3-0, so it is time that Zero Kelvin has to make a mark over here. Because you know what, right after this, even if they manage to get a round into the name, it's not going to be as fruitful as it would be. So this is where they have to buckle up and then get back into the game. And I'm expecting one. I expected in round 3, but that didn't happen. But round 4, most of the times I see that, the team makes a little bit of mark. So hoping for the best. On the clock right now, 3-0. Let's see.
A moment of quiet. Rare when it comes to Rainbow Six Esports, is always there's something or the other going on. Nomad setting up those flank watches, flank routes being shut down thanks to, of course, those air jabs. Beautiful stuff to, have on an attacker side. Because at the end of the day, sure, Gridlock might be better at dealing damage and making enemies squishier and easier to deal with, but an air jab can certainly give you quite a lot of sound cues as well. And that recharge going off might be huge right now. There you go, the defender there just moving away in time. I believe it's the Goyo as well. There's a canister right there that's been spotted. So a little bit more intel. There we go. Cobra is going to get forced out of his position with the canisters being popped. With the Montaigne now ready to go. Hibana getting the breach going. That is, of course, on the cafeteria side of the site right now. Vinci, all he's got to do is make that a walkable rotate, and there you have an entry. But wait a minute, Clap's going to find one. That's Desmond to fall. That's huge. Desmond, one of the front gunners in these 3 rounds so far, on the 4th one, has to, unfortunately, sit this one out. The sledge no longer in play, but beautiful shot from Noob, who's going to get 1. That's going to be Altair to fall. Unfortunately, the castle yet to open his books for the time being. Breaches have been done. Entry has been made. The Bandit sneaking up, unawares of where they are. That's going to be 1 kill. His position is given away. That's a trade between Cobra and Noob, and Disciple finds another one, 2v2 right now, as both sides have an equalized body count. But wait a minute, there's somebody above. That is going to be Extreme playing the mute. However, Buckinator, he wants to go for this. He wants to go for the entry, and Disciple, he's low on health as well. Oh, what was that shot? The flick. Wow. Beautifully done from Sharp Edge. He finds the Twitch, he finds the Monty, and completely shuts down the site entry by himself. Well played with the MPX and the Tubarao, and that's going to afford Zero Kelvin their first round, and a much needed one at that.
This is where I kind of like feel scared about Tubarov a lot, particularly with the Tempe X. He does so crazy stuff. And in the right person, in the hands of the right person, it becomes even deadly. And that's what we have just witnessed. So yes, the score becomes 3-1. And particularly something that we anticipated a little bit, wanted the team to back the victory, so that it kind of like paves a path to the next set. Now here's where, you know, Zero Kelvin has to make a best use out of the situation. They got the momentum, need to just get this carried further. So as of now, concentrating on the reinforcements, like they said, so far second floor completely covered, but this also has been a point of breach several
10
times.
seconds left.
Now how exactly it's going to happen,
5 seconds
5
left
more
before
seconds on the
insertion.
clock, and the way the kills have been secured, 2 C4s in this particular, it's quite interesting for sure.
What's more interesting is the fact that they've decided to bring out the Mutant Mozzie combo, right? Those are the ones with the C4s, of course, I realize.
Yes.
But the reason that one, of course, is more interesting is because of just how much drone denial those two can do together. One of the longer running gadget combo duos as well, right? And Mozzie, of course, because we've seen them be played so much. I believe one of the earliest times I remember that particular combination being pointed out, at least to my memory, of course, it existed longer than it was pointed out. Oh, wait a minute. Gunfights. Oh, Disciple, he's going to miss. And on a DMR, you do not want to do that. Sharp Edge gets that kill, and a very, very good one to start things off as well. That's your Brava gone. And I'm not sure if sending Brava for a roamer hunt was a good idea in the first place, because I believe that they were hoping for Brava to be the one to deny the mute jammers on the breach. We saw a brief flash of Vinci on the, there we go, on the breach wall. He can't get the mute jammer from there, and that's exactly what Brava would have been really, really useful for. Unfortunately, you've lost that operator on an ill-advised roam clear. And now, once again, Cobra, beautiful peek out on that hallway. Printer hallway gets one. But wait a minute, Desmond and Noob have fired back. 2 to fall. That's Cobra and Sharp Edge. Well, actually, the culprits, just now that I was talking about, they have fallen. So an equalizer, 3v3, is on the board.
3v3 situation. And you know what? I was kind of like expecting a 3-3 on the score as well. Whether it's possible, it's all up to Kelvin to do, Zero Kelvin to do it. Collab could be the one, but that stun gun, I forgot the name of this weapon. All that I remember is a stun gun from the old World War days. Meanwhile, quite low on health, so not be a possibility. It's kind of like scaring a little bit. Have to see. As soon as the flames are down, both are going to make a big time move over here. Kind of like trying to flush the other one out of the mark. Here's a flash. Oh no, that's not supposed to happen.
Alright, 35 seconds, and we've got the smoke stalling for time with those gas canisters. He's still got one more, and that's exactly why you want him gone. He's taking a dangerous peek right now against the Nomad here. Flashbangs are out. They really want in, and there we go. Mute's gonna get taken out with the skeleton key. Desmond, effective as always, gets one, and now that could potentially secure entry if they just play their cards right. Where is the smoke? He's behind the overturned table right now, and that's what they need to find. But Clap finds Desmond. That's huge. The smoke is gonna be found. He's gonna be taken out. The Frost as well. Noob coming around. The Nomad with the ARX deciding, you know what, to hell with this. Pushes through the fire and the flames and says, you want to watch something burn? Watch this. Gets 2 headshots, gets 2 kills, gets the round for the team. Well played from Won't Stop Peeking. And I like this kind of organized chaos playstyle that they've had so far, right? Even when the first kill is taken against them, even when they lose the first body, they are able to stabilize, they're able to ground the ship, or I should say, free the ship, and move on as if nothing happened. That's exactly what you want to do when you're playing against a team like Zero Kelvin, who are trying to make a big name for themselves here. And so as we move on to round number 6, the ideal situation for Zero Kelvin on this defense would be to get at least one more round and move on to the attack with a fresh mind. Maybe a 2-4 is not ideal, understandably so, but it is what it is. Sometimes you gotta play with the hand you've been dealt, and for them, starting fresh on attack would be the best idea.
Starting from the top, that definitely is a way to go
10
for.
seconds to go.
Yes, indeed. And the players are kind of like for sure
5
making
seconds
this
to
happen. 4-2-1. I want to see a 4-4 equalizer. Zero Kelvin trying their best to move further, when time and again Won't Stop Picking is making it sort of not just difficult but impossible as well. Now talking about the entry point, checking around the corners, they already disabled the cams, and here comes a bit of distraction. That's a big move from Vinci, of course, was needed as well as soon as realized the opposition on the other front. So talking about the defenses, Zero Kelvin definitely has a better positioning in this particular round, I would say. So round 6 could be the one to see like a score of 4-2, which may turn to 4-3, hoping for it. At the same point of time, with the momentum with which Won't Stop Picking is moving further, seems as if 2 frags, 2 kills just around the corner. And it's most likely Altair, I believe so.
Altair, the castle, has to be careful about where they decide. Okay, Cobra, just spinning around with the fan. I'm not sure what that's all about. Wasn't expecting to see that, I'll be honest with you. However, regardless, shots fired from vertical. That's going to be Clap and Vinci getting into a gunfight, and Clap's going to move away from that. Understandably so. You don't want to lose your life. He's actually going to turn around and find Buckinator instead. That's a big one, but he's going to fall for his troubles as well. 1 down. Desmond taking yet another body. He's got to be careful, though. I believe the Mira is up here with him, and he's going to call for support. He's going to get it as well. Disciple with the drone. He's going to drone ahead, try to find these defenders. Where are they? Got to take him out. And there you go. Red Ping comes out. Flashbang. And Desmond, he wants to push in. He wants to get a kill here. He's going to do that. And somehow, this Mira is still safe. Just about gets away. Disciple low on health as well, but still finds Altair, the castle, to fall. And that is second floor, excuse me, second floor control pretty much entirely given away to the attackers. You can't hold against that. Cobra falls, and it's all up to Extreme and Sharp Edge, the last two stand. Never mind, Extreme, the last one standing, as the Nomad takes that kill. The Mozzie, who's been in the basement this whole time, he's got to crawl out, and there's an air jab. That's the sound cue. Position given away. They're about to aggress on him on this main hallway here. There we go. Spiral stairs. He can't go anywhere because guess what? They know where you are, buddy, and it's only going to take a few shots to take you down. We have a 5-1 Won't Stop Peeking with a beautiful first half, as they have taken a very aggressive lead here. And now that we're on round 7, guess what, folks? It's the second half. So the bans are reset, and we're going to have a whole new ban phase to start from round 7 onwards.
And this is where I can see a score of 5-2 happening, but right after that, it can turn things around again into the name of Won't Stop Peeking. I'm just talking about the pattern that I have observed between these teams and Rainbow Six Siege X, right from the prior tournament, or be it from yesterday. So as soon as the side switches, being from the defenders end, kind of like the first round slightly goes off the mark, but immediately they make a comeback. Thermite and Mira off. So there we go. Talking about the selections, we have Bandit, Legend, Melushi, Mute along with Capcan. Interesting. And on the other side, we have Amaru walking in along with Capitao, Blitz, Grim. And the last one, this is where it fills. Gridlock for sure. So let's go. I want to see that clap, which Clap along with Altair has made it happen. And now that they are the attackers, it's has to be a big one. And don't forget, expecting 5-2 on this particular round.
I like the idea of using Grim on a map like Consulate, because Consulate is one of those maps where there's not only a lot of verticality, but another thing to highlight is that there are so many corners on this map, right? You look at Garage on the left side of your screens right there, you have the pillar, right? That's like 3 corners already by itself. Behind the pillar, the corner by the sink, you've got the pillar by Garage, you've got boxes towards the corner of the map, you've got the van, the red van, all the way over to the bottom half, the right side or left side, depending on where you're looking at it from, of that part of the site as well. And that's just one room with like 6 or 7 corners, right? So given that Grim can bounce as Kawan hives into those corners, makes him a very valuable operator who we won't be seeing because Sharp Edge has decided to switch out onto the Flores. Now, of course, Flores is no bad operator of his own right, don't get me wrong. However, I feel like Grim might have actually been a better pick for the clear when it comes to site selection. Now, here we have an interesting decision making coming in here because there's a grenade from the gridlock that's going to force the bandit back. And wait a minute, someone's already on yellow, I should say, yellow hallway. That Sharp is to take Desmond down, but the C4 comes out. That's going to force the blitz onto the floor. Extreme is bleeding out right now. He's going to stay safe in the corner, but Noob knows better than to peek that right now. Flashbangs are out as well. That's going to allow for potential revive as the shotgun is ready on the doorway right now. That blitz might be low, but it doesn't matter. Sharp is taking shots, and he's going to fall regardless. We have the blitz being taken out. Beautiful shot on the legs by Noob. That's 2 bodies down on yellow, and that push has entirely failed, especially with the Flores not able to do much of anything when it comes to utility denial. They do still have a breach here that they can use. Shots fired on it, and there we have not a body. Clap is still alive. That's what's important right now, as they need to preserve bodies. Minute 30 on the mark, and wait a minute, is that buckinated right above the breach? Yes, it is, and I don't think anybody's going for the roam clear above. Gridlock falls, and will that be another one? Yes, it is. It's just a complete collapse from all over the place, and that is going to be Won't Stop Peeking going to map point 6-1.
6-1, and it's going to, take it further. So there is no comeback from here. Probably I could expect maybe 1 or 2 rounds victory from a 0 Kelvin, and that's it, right? Not more than that. So probably a 7-3 kind of score. But so far through the tournaments, what I observed, whenever it's like the match point, almost 85% of the times, Won't Stop Peeking will just take it further, 7-1 be it. And we saw how aggressively they have been approaching. And again, Blackjack, I kind of like feel like, I still doubt. Are they being the defenders really? But because the way they are aggressing further, it doesn't seem like they are the defenders.
That's actually a really good observation you've pointed out there, Santa. The reason that it might feel that way is because of the nature of Consulate as a map, right? There's a lot of movement happening every single second of this on this map, right? And the reason for that is, well, because of all those corners I mentioned earlier. Of course, defenders can take a lot more advantage of them. However, attackers, when they take parts of the map, when they take space, of course, are able to also use that to their advantage. And we've seen that work for Won't Stop Peeking for their play style because they love playing like that. They love, taking corners. They love creating space in those minute, niche, I would say, circumstances. And it works out for them because they are also aggressive gunners. At least a good number of them are. And that is why a map like Consulate is actually something that would be in their repertoire the more that I think about it. Now, of course, we've moved on. Site is on 2nd floor, console office. So verticality is no longer in play, and I'm seeing a lack of a buck from 0 Kelvin. So they are not going to do what Desmond did in the first half, which is to go below and be pretty much like a mosquito until, of course, that mosquito bite ends up completely shutting down the entire defense. Rappel is here, and that elbow, yep, Altair saw it. He decided to maybe try and get something. Desmond's going to fall as Clap has gotten a big first kill. Where did that happen is my question. Was it probably on a window or something? But that Azami taken off the board. So Kiba barriers are no longer in play. Whatever was deployed is whatever you have. But wait a minute, Extreme goes down to Noob on the other side. And the Mute shotguns out. He's ready for yet another big play.
Big play. It is 6-1. The more that has to happen. 90 seconds on the clock. So this is where the entire action begins, and we know for sure it's going to be a bigger, better move right in. 4v4, E-Clap slightly low on health. So it's Buckinator for the play. He makes the mark. A bit of utilities dump on the other front. Both waiting for each other to walk and alt air. Definitely in for the surprise as soon as Walson is gonna get a big one on the mark. But look at how Sharp Edge from the other front. Buckinator gone. It's a 3v4. And Sharp Edge is the one who could get one more kill on the mark, but Disciple on the other front and a big C4 frag on the mark. Disciple slightly getting low. Noob on the other side, not so no for sure. And Clap is low. A shotgun for play. I believe it's a kill that's about to happen, and look how low Edge is getting. As soon as the turn happens and a quick peek, it's a kill for sure, and here it is.
Gotta get that goo mine out of your shins. Sharp Edge, I'm not sure what the idea was there. Easy Clap falls on the other side to Disciple, and now Cobra's in a 1v2 with 10 seconds remaining. There's only so much he can do, as guess what? There's a shotgun. He doesn't even know that he's about to face one. He's gonna swing out, and that's gonna be the kill to Disciple. Buckinator from beyond the grave with a goo mine is... well, that was the linchpin of that round right there towards the end, because I believe that if the Grim had been allowed Yellow Stairs control, which he had, if he'd just gotten the push, that might have actually ended up going to 0 Kelvin. However, I'm not sure what happened there, but he didn't get the goo mine out of his leg in time, and Won't Stop Peeking end up winning map number 1, 7-1 for them in a quick turnaround first map, as they have taken the early lead on the map count.
Amazingly executed play, I will say. Lovely strategy. So that's where the big things happen. 7-1, right on map number 1. And Consulate made the mark. Now, what I'm excited to see is in Chalet. Because if you remember, yesterday I spoken a bit about Chalet and how excited I am for the map. A beautiful look around, but at the same way, our operator kind of, they break things around. That's where kind of like a heartbreak situation. But at the same point of time, we are talking about X where this has to happen. So best wishes for both the teams, and the way Won't Stop Peeking is going further. Quite a dominant stance compared to yesterday. Also, talking about patterns, this is how it began with Ubu. But in map number 2 and map number 3, it was like a different situation. So let's hope that does not happen today, and Won't Stop Peeking makes their mark on these two.
I think it's also a case of the fact that Won't Stop Peeking came into Consulate with a plan, and they clearly have a lot of experience on that map as well. Credit where credit is due, they definitely move like they knew that map about as well as someone would know maybe Chalet or Oregon or Clubhouse playing the game for a few years, right? So clearly the practice has paid off, and they showed us exactly what they know on that map as well. Of course, mind you, everything that happens today, Team Uwu will be seeing, because of course it's all being streamed, right? And that allows Team Uwu to get a little bit of preparation done for tomorrow's grand final. However, of course, what also really matters, oh dear me, looks like I had a bit of a moment there. Apologies. Early morning internet where I live is not the best. However, point notwithstanding, what I was saying is that Team Uwu, right, they are seeing this, or at least they have the option to see it if they want to. It's all streamed after all. So tomorrow's grand final, say Won't Stop Peeking gets in there, they will, of course, have an Uwu who's had the time to do their homework. So it's all the more excitement for tomorrow, but of course that doesn't mean that the excitement for tonight is done, because it's a best of 3, and we still have a map 2 and potentially a map 3 to go through. But of course we'll also have those stats that we love to break down at the end of each of these games, folks, so don't you worry, sit tight. And map number 2, of course, it's Chalet that we'll be going to very, very soon. Chalet, a bit more of a common map when it comes to Siege X, and certainly a map that gets played a lot, regardless if you're in ranked or pro, pro league. Whenever I refer to, competitive Siege X, I tend to stick to Pro League as a wording, even though that actually hasn't been used in years, I think, at this point. Regardless, there we go. Stat screen is up for all of those at home who love this information. Of course, a certain someone who used to be a very commonplace in the community they would love this one as well. But regardless, we have a pretty interesting statistic turnaround, as both sides do actually have a player who didn't do a whole lot in terms of their actual KD. That of course being Vinci and Altair, 1.7 and 1.8 respectively. However, the difference is Vinci stayed back playing support roles like Breach and Breach support for the most part. He wasn't meant to do a whole lot of forward play. On the other side, Altair, the reason Altair's KOST is lower than Vinci's, despite being a similar scoreline, well, because Altair was playing in far more forward positions, and it required the use of utilities that should have netted him a couple more kills and a little bit more presence in the map. Unfortunately, not to be. The rest of their lobby, of course, pretty good spread all around. Of course, Disciple, far and away the standout with a 93% KOST, 1.51 EPS, and of course 13 and 7 in the overall turnaround of KD. However, Easy Clap on the other side for Zero Kelvin being the, I think, standout entry fragger as well. Yes, indeed, 3-1 on the first kill ratio there. So, all things considered, Zero Kelvin has a few things to really take away here in their favor, and I do hope that they, hold on to that, because they're going to need it when we get to Chalet.
Yes, of course. 12-5. Oh, wow, indeed. And that too from a player that I haven't expected. So it seems as if, Vinci kind of like took control over there, allowed the teammate to move a little further and get the numbers in place, because this is where we see a lot of change happening. So not to forget that Vinci is the player who's normally the top fragger from most of the times is the top fragger from the team. And talking about numbers, these are pretty common. They go up and down most of the times. So let's see how Chalet is going to pave path for both the teams, and I'm quite excited. So ladies and gentlemen, grab your coffee, grab your popcorn, be ready, because a lot of Siege action is still in store. 2 more maps.
And speaking of 2 more maps, let's have map number 2, folks. We're getting right back in. That's right, no breaks. We are in here, right here and now. Map number 2, Chalet, is on your screens, and we are already in the ban phase here and now. And folks, guess what? We might see pretty similar bans to what we saw in Consulate. Is it going to be the case? Ace and Valkyrie to start us off. Yes, indeed. Of course, Ace and Thermite have been getting a lot of bans in the pro scene recently. And I've seen this kind of ban meta for the attackers come out, where it's like the breachers are the ones to get banned. And I 100% understand Ace and Thermite, because those breaches they make are huge. And so much area is denied for the defenders just by those massive, holes in the walls existing. As Thermite says, a really big swear word here, hole coming right up. And of course, speaking of Thermite, he and Valkyrie are going, not Valkyrie, Mira are going to get banned right there. Of course, Mira on Chalet is a bit more of a menace, as we have seen before. So Mira ban, totally expected. And the Valkyrie, well, we've talked about it before. Those black eye cameras are hard to spot in a lot of situations, in a lot of corners. But just because Valkyrie is banned, guess what? There is another defender with utility that can be put almost anywhere on a map. That is the Maestro, who's going to be in play from Buckinator.
Buckinator got to get it done. The second map in the best of 3 series has to look forward for more. And Bone Stopping being the defenders, well, of course, it's just the role. Just the role. But for the team, most of the time we see is that, the attacks. But yes, from the defensive front at this juncture. Zero Kelvin on the other front, being the attackers, they have to work a lot. We are talking about the map of Chalet. Here comes the beauty. I love the mansion a lot. And a lot of destruction just about to get unleashed. So have to see who's going to be the top fragger. And there goes the grenade carrier. Normally I call it the RC with a bang.
Well, the RCE Rotero drones from the Flores, of course. Ever the the useful piece of utility as well. Those explosive drones, especially because they have that invincibility perk once they shell up, right? You cannot destroy them once they are set to detonate. And I like the design of them overall because the short timer means that you have to be so very careful. Wait a minute, Capcan, his position given away. He was droned out. And Vinci, unfortunately, didn't really have anywhere to go. Caught between a rock and a hard place, and he will have to fall. First kill of the map, and it goes to the favor of Zero Kelvin. And a good one as well. Capcan, of course, the 9x19 VSN, a pretty powerful gun overall, but Desmond fires back. The Echo in play right now, finds Easy Clap. That's your Nomad gone, and Newwood might actually be coming up on another one. He sees the move happening from the Ace there, so he's got the call actually. That's not Ace, that's Grim, my bad, Ace is banned. But he's got the call of, hey, there's someone here you guys might want to check out. But because he's holding that small room, he's got to be careful about this, as he's going to get pinched. The flashbangs are out, and now the Frost is in a spot of bother. He's still alive behind a reinforcement. At Sharp Edge, he's going to take a bit of damage. I believe that might have been from an Evil Eye. Potentially speaking, the jumping is there. Does he know where the Frost is? Yes, he does. Beautifully done. He's going to get that kill extreme, and that makes it a 3v4. Body count advantage for Zero Kelvin right now, as that puts them in a good position to start things off. However, 60 seconds, and as we all know, anything could happen.
Lot of possibilities. 3v4 situation wherein, quite troublesome, I would say. And yes, a bit of verticality working in the favor. The floors being covered. The hatchet, this is where a kill is about to happen. A bit of explosion, nothing to worry as of now. The other grenade is going to make a mark. Most likely has to flush from the corner. And the site is also kind of like open. I'm slightly skeptical to the part where around the library, if it is possible or not. But yes, a quick flank and a rotation can definitely help. Time is of essence. Both the teams playing on the time. And on the other front, oh, that's a lovely takedown, followed by one more and an equalizer. Meanwhile, going for the diffuse plant. And immediately you see Disciple getting a better of the situation. The round victory into the name, and a big one in Chalet. So the opening makes a mark, and that's where Won't Stop Peeking are leaving their mark as well.
The site retake right there from the Malusi at the end, of course, had to do it. It wasn't really a retake if the site was, never really taken over. But the main point that I'm trying to make here is that the Malusi came around, got the down on the Gridlock, got the kill on the Hibana who dropped Hatch. And then, of course, the final shot fired on the, whoever it was, I think it was the Grim on the, in Pantry Hallway, right? So that 3K right there, quick 3K from Disciple, well played on that front, because without that, certainly that would have been a tighter round, maybe even a win for Zero Kelvin. And when you're on Chalet, of course, you want to win rounds as an attacker, right? As attack on Chalet has a unique perspective compared to other maps. Old Chalet, in fact, I believe it used to be considered attacker-sided, although it's been years since I've had even seen old Chalet, so my memory on that might be a bit shaky, folks. New Chalet has had moments where people have thought, is it attacker-sided, is it defender-sided? I believe it comes out to be slightly defender-sided as it stands right now, but of course that also depends on the team and their overall their overall playstyle, right? Ooh, okay. Not sure what Desmond is doing on the Echo up on first floor. Not exactly an operator you tend to see on the roam, and especially given that he's right by the first floor kitchen hallway. Of course, that area is where a couple of roam clears going to happen. Wait a minute, Desmond's going to find two? Wait a okay. Three. Never mind. I was being doubtful of the Echo, but he's just...
Oh, no.
No. That's not something you want to do. Sharpers with a team kill, and all of a sudden it is a 2v5. Zero Kelvin, oh dear me, falling apart in round number 2.
Not the situation I wanted to see, and not a team kill, not at least in this situation, where it was very much needed. The cycle going for the sharp one. Lovely indeed. Clap is the last to stand, and it's an ace that is needed. Heavily denied, covered from both corners, finds one, gets down in the shotgun play. A lovely mark from Noob, not so Noob for sure. They knew the corner needs to be covered and how to flush it. 2-0 on the board. And I can see a 3-0 happening just like that, waiting for the time. And the way the Won't Stop Peeking is approaching the entire situation is looking fabulous. Vinci is definitely on the support role for sure, I would say. Talking about the numbers on the other side, Buckinator, Disciple, Desmond, they are the ones making the mark. Wow, indeed. Let's take it further. So, shall we expect the 3-0?
I mean, given the way things are going, given the trends we've seen so far, I certainly can say that it might happen. 3-0 might actually end up coming to fruition here for the side of Won't Stop Peeking, as they themselves would certainly like to be in that position, right? You want to get as much of an advantage as you can when it comes to your map positioning overall, your advantages, your disadvantages. You just need, the more space you take, the better it will be for you in the long run. And of course, given that a game of Siege can tend to run pretty long, that's exactly why you want to take as many rounds early as you can. With all that said, of course, we're going to move into round number 3, and it's going to be First Floor Kitchen, the site of choice here. And this is something that I really like about New Chalet. Again, New Chalet, it's not new anymore, of course. This version of Chalet is that a lot of the first floor sites, both first floor sites actually, are very, very viable. All you gotta do is have a little bit of a change in playstyle, and suddenly, boom, you know exactly what you're doing on this map. Of course, First Floor Kitchen used to be a pretty common site in the very older version of Chalet as well. Oh, is this a jump out? Is this a jump out? Disciple, what is the thought process here? I want to know. There has to be a drone or something giving away his position, right? Maybe? Yes? No? Can't even jump out of this window. I don't think you can. Desmond's gonna find one. Again, the entry frag from the Echo. And whoever's on this rappel, oh dear me, I don't think that drone would have seen the Malusi right there. Even if it did, that's a dangerous position to be in. Desmond's gonna fall. That's a good kill right there from Cobra. One taken. And there we go, Disciple's going to fall, and the castle looking away at just the wrong time. Easy Clap will come around with the kill, but Vinci's here to maybe, hopefully stabilize the ship. He gets one of his own, and he's going to try and look for another on this top floor. He's on the roam, of course, being the kind of guarantor for the top floor rotations and all that, and he's got to be, because those keeper barriers are going to come into play potentially as well. He's opened up the Raora Dom panel that was on the piano big door, so that of course is in a point of contention for the attackers right now, as we have a Grim Kawan Hive going out on Sunroom Stairs. That of course allows for whoever the defender was trying to get up there to be flushed out. Dom panel's been closed once again, but Buckinator, he's just hanging down just below the stairs, hunkered in his position as the cluster charges ring out across the map on top of the site. You can see here the idea with the, of course, cluster charge is that the fuse is clearing utility, clearing site, just getting rid of almost everything. That one shot, oh dear me, Vinci trying to take out the track stingers. That's exactly why Vinci hasn't been able to push up so far, because of the track stingers. That one shot might have given away the fact that, hey, there's somebody still up here. But if the attackers here from Zero Kelvin are not careful about this, they might end up not being able to do much of anything in the side. Wait a minute, there's a drop, and it's going to be seen. That's a kill for Vinci. One down. That's diffuser dropped as well. Another one to fall. Double kill for Vinci right now. And it's all up to Easy Clap, who's going to get found by Buckinator. The 2v4 coming in for these two. Won't Stop Peeking, going from strength to strength. Yes. And guess what? In that round, they did actually have to stop peeking, because if they hadn't, those final two would have died. So the patience immaculate as they get the 2v4 done and make it 3-0. Once again, a very good early lead from them.
Amazingly executed, and that made the mark they have been looking for. And the team is all in for it. 3-2-0. Now it is Gridlock and Azami off the mark. So with this, have to see how the composition is going to be. And whenever we see 3-2-0, it's 4-0 for sure, 5-0 for sure, but then comes a comeback from the team. So Zero Kelvin Whether they can make a 3-1 remains as a question, and I'm expecting for it as well. A lot of attack needs to happen, and with a lot of aggression is needed. Let's see if that's the case or not.
Well, as it stands, 3-0, 0 Kelvin, they've got quite the task ahead of them. They essentially have to do a entire reverse sweep from here, right? And if
Yes.
it gets, worst case scenario, worst case scenario, the first half ends in a 6-0 to won't stop peaking. That means that they simply cannot
10
afford to
seconds
fail
insertion.
anymore, right?
True.
Because not only would they have to win 6 straight rounds of
5
Rainbow
seconds
Six at
left
that
before
point,
insertion.
just to get to overtime, mind you, not even a guaranteed victory there. They would
Attackers
also
objective
need to then win map number 3. And again, in Siege, nothing is ever really guaranteed, right?
Yes.
Anything can happen. Even a team with very little professional experience can beat some of the best of the best. It has happened before, and it sure will happen again as the years go on. But of course, enough philosophical waxing. That's what Buckinator says anyway, as he gets the first kill onto Extreme. Just, why peek out of library window? Why not? When you're 3-0 up and 1-0 up on the man count, you can, on the map count, I should say, you just want to get as many kills as possible. But, buff up your stats a little bit. Get that KD ratio up. I'm just kidding, of course. At the end of the day, it's about getting their first kill. And guess who they got as well? It's a Flores. No more Rotero drone. So any and all destructible utility that won't be shot or converted by Brava is going to be very, very safe indeed. And Sharpers, mind you, has to get a bit of damage as well. So you got to be careful where you peek from here and where you... Oh, dear me, Noob on the other side is going to fall. That's Mezzanine push coming in from Altair and could get the Jaeger out of here. Roshill, of course, free up vertical. No, never mind. There's the down. There's the kill. The Warden is going to find Altair to start things off, and Mezzanine was actually a double hold. Oh my goodness, what a shot. Buckinator with one. Vincey's going to fall on the other side, but does it really matter when you're in a 1v... Never mind, a 0v4. They didn't even pick the poor Jaeger off the floor. Noob was bleeding out the whole time, but they didn't care. They got the kills, and they are hopefully going to get the Jaeger to a health specialist anytime soon. Doc, sitting in the command center, he's thinking, all right, guys, you got to pick him up at some point, right?
Yes.
Anyway, 4-0 on the scoreboard. Won't stop peaking. They are looking mighty indeed.
Mighty it is. 4-0. Hibana and Iana together. That's a force to work with, and we can expect a bigger, better play. Now, being the defenders, quite a bit of challenge being presented, of course, and Kelvin is kind of like failing short to break this defense. So that's where the entire equation is kind of like falling apart. Vincey on the other front is looking quite strong. I have seen a better, and the way it's being approached, I can for sure expect some bigger numbers from the player, not as the prior. But Noob on the other side, of course, he is rising up to the occasion. On this particular map, it's slightly falling. Look the way it's been covered from Desmond and Disciple. Lovely contribution overall. And I want to see those kind of numbers from 0 Kelvin, which is falling short a lot. Wherein these moves are gonna make to happen. I believe so. The shield should make it.
Early rounds, of course, a little bit of quiet for both teams coming in, as they will just take this second. Of course, 0 Kelvin has a few precious moments to potentially set something up. And you know what? Actually, one thing that I might like to see from them is, a complete throwaway of caution, right? Throw caution to the wind. Go for a rush. Go for a big play. Because you're going to want to eventually do that, right? Maybe, maybe not. As we have ourselves the first shots being fired, Altair and Clap getting a bit of damage done to them. Oh my goodness, you connected that. Disciple. And this is exactly why Disciple's a pro player, not me. I would never have been able to get that shot off, of course. But Disciple, well, he's more than happy to do that. As the first body is taken, it is once again, won't stop peaking. Desmond with the second now, as the attackers are now pushing down West Main Stairs. That's a Montaigne with Iana not behind him, actually. Iana's going to choose to move out towards the hallway side instead. Disciple is here peeking this, of course. And wait a minute, Noob's gonna fall. Desmond's gonna fall. Double kill for the Montaigne. What just happened right there? Not sure, but that's a good good set of kills right there. Monty making sure that the team isn't down and out yet. But he's also half health, so he's got to be careful about this as we see the push coming into trench door on the backside of Wine Cellar.
Wine Cellar, yes. And I'm expecting a move from both Vinci and Bakinator, just waiting for the moment to occur. But as soon as the peak happens, he could get into a troublesome move. Look the way it's been set up on the other front. Both are well prepared, and Vinci as well knows for sure. Player is lurking around the corner. Here comes the shield. The shots connected. Oh, not a lot to deal the damage. But yes, indeed, on the other front, moving right into the line of fire. Even from Won't Stop Peeking, we can expect this counter rotation working in the favor. Look the way they've been covering a crossfire situation. Vinci gets the better, Disciple as well. The last one standing goes down in the name of Vinci, and just like that, another round victory for Won't Stop Peeking, who has made the mark. And here comes the big numbers.
You gotta feel bad for the Monty player right there, right? He
True.
moved down the west main stairs. He managed to equalize the body count. So much effort, ultimately, to just get taken off the board. I will say, though, Zero Kelvin deciding to get all three of their remaining players pushing down trench door and into the deep breach right there wasn't the best idea. Like the Iana could have been kind of a wild card play, coming down blue or the main stairs even, because there were players trying to make a rotate, right, from top floor, or not top floor, first floor. So they could have called those defenders, they could have potentially made a little bit of a flank watch play, or just in general, have someone in a safer position just in case things go south. You've got someone in a different angle pushing and pinching them, the defenders that is, away from their comfort position. So overall, while the idea was there from Zero Kelvin, the execution towards the end kind of fell flat, and that's pretty much true for how this map has gone so far for them, right? It's been a case of their initial ideation is great, what they're bringing out, what they're thinking is actually really good. It's just been a case of their execution falling apart because Won't Stop Peeking, well, Won't Stop Peeking. They have given us quite the match, I will say, though. 5-0 up already, and they've only lost one round so far. Certainly making a name for themselves here and now, as they desperately, well, not desperately, but they definitely want to get back to the grand finals. And tomorrow, folks, that is going to be a game and a half to watch out for. But we're not done yet. At the very least, 2 more rounds of Siege are yet to be played as Sharp Edge gets the first kill. That's a good one as well. Buckinator to fall once again on these Solarium windows. I keep calling it Sunroom, but Solarium is what it's actually called. Solarium windows. I'm not sure if it's just Buckinator. No, actually it was Disciple as well earlier on. I think in round 2, if memory serves correctly, 2 or 3, who had that moment as well, peeking on that window. Desmond falls as well. Sharpers with 2. All right. Signs of life coming out here from the side of Zero Kelvin. Disciple falls to Extreme as well, as we've got a bit of verticality set up. Oh no, that Boogie Drone's not going to go anywhere. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. You just got to move on. They've got a good advantage though. 2v5. The body count is definitely looking in their favor right now.
Body count rising up 2v5. This is a round which can turn into 5v1 scenario. Vinci and No moving in, forced to meddle with, and No makes a big one, falls into the hands, and Vinci is the last to stand. He has to get the job done for the team. It's a 1v4 ask, a huge one indeed, particularly when your opposition is so strongly situated, and the attackers, Zero Kelvin ready for the same. Vinci knows for sure a quick tap. That's all that was needed, the one quick tap, and just like that. So 5-1 on the scoreboard. Not to say, can we see 5-2, particularly with the switch happening? It's quite possible.
It could be. It could actually happen that Zero Kelvin starts winning round after round from here on out, right? However, of course, whether or not that is the case, we'll have to wait and see. Ace and Azami, the first bans in the second half, as it is round 7, of course, which means the second half is now underway. And to start things off, we've got, again, a little bit more generic bans, all things considered. I keep calling these generic bans because they are bans you see across different maps, across
Yes.
different teams. They're just bans that are more generalized, right? Thermite and
Yes,
Fenrir
indeed.
on the other side. Once again, you have bans that are, once again, what would be considered generic because we've seen these bans before. We've seen these operators get taken off the board before. And that's exactly why, that is generic. And I'm not sure exactly why I decided to go into the reasoning behind calling them generic bans. But sometimes, I feel like it makes for a good talking point, right? What really is considered a generic ban, quote unquote, right? So in this case, those would be. I mean, Mira would also count. However, Mira has not been banned. It's Fenrir and Azami, the defenders who have been banned. So, Zero Kelvin, they didn't bring her out this round, even though they have decided to go to second floor, of course. The first time we're seeing second floor as well on this map. So office and bedroom coming out to play here. And Zero Kelvin, they've got the tuba out, they've got the mute, no electrification either, because of course you've got access to Thatcher, you've got access to secondary EMPs. Why waste a slot on and someone like Kaid or Bandit? But again, if you're going to go to second floor, where the breach plays such a heavy role in office, right? That is a very common plant spot. Breach, smoke, plant behind the half wall. So if you're not going to at least try to deny it, I'm not sure what the thought process is there for Zero Kelvin here, but it is what it is. They've decided to go with this, and now they will have to play with what they've chosen.
Choices it is, that's where they have to either make it, break it, live with
Okay
it.
then.
Cobra down. 2 bodies off the mark, 5v3, just like that, right in the beginning. That too, I expect this is completely tilting into the favor of won't stop peaking. And you know what happens whenever we see the 6 on the board?
Oh, okay. Jump in the bathroom right there. Disciple, he's already in here. He's going to get shot up for his trouble right now. That's from the piano side of things. Altair will get one. And on the other side, Buckinator has fallen. So the verticality not working out. Never mind. Noob. I'm not sure what happened right there, but he's just team killed his mate. He will get one in return. A little bit of avenging action going on. Shots will be fired from inside the bathroom. He's got a Gooman in his shin. Tries to get a flashbang out. He's going to get killed instead. Altair with that body. And Vinci, he's just holding upside down rappel. All he has to do is just stay here. And the defenders know they're not going to just, move down the hallway, give away their head right there. As Won't Stop Peaking, a little bit of a moment right now to talk about what exactly happened. And of course, it was a breakdown of communications, I believe, especially with Noob team killing. That's something you never want to do. It's a bit of a hurt. It hurts team morale, I'll tell you that much.
A lot.
However, the other thing about this is that Vinci could pull off a 1v2. Sure, he's done before. Oh, and he's gonna get that kill through the wall.
1v1 situation. All Altair being taken out. This is where it can turn things around. We were expecting a heavy play from Zero Kelvin, but it seems as if that's not gonna happen any further. And waiting for the time to action. That's a shotgun in the hand. That's where I get scared a little bit. Ready for the same. A little bit of shots fire. Nothing to worry much about. Whereas 20 seconds on the clock and has to make the move as fast as they can. Covering the corners and ready for the same. Look how undeterred the player is. A mother hole for the first shots connection. A lot of health's been taken out. A quick peek. And no utilities. Okay, there are 3. But this peek is all that's needed. But the shotgun, oh my goodness. That too, he was turned around. And a lovely execution. Lovely execution. Had it been a different weapon, the outcome wouldn't have been the same.
Alright then. Second round for Zero Kelvin right now. That is, of course, a little bit of shout, a little bit of a fight back from them. And as they say, better late than never. 2 and 5 down, though. They still have to get 3 rounds just to equalize and then push for a potential victory in map number 2. On the other side, Won't Stop Peaking. Well, a little bit of a breakdown of their playstyle. A little bit of a little bit of a issue cropping up there, and especially with that team kill on Solarium Stairs. I know that's like the third time I've brought it up, but the point with that is, folks, that that's not something you want to do. That's not something you want to end up happening. And the reasoning is, of course, because if you team kill, again, there's going to be questions. Why'd you do that? Why'd you shoot me? And then, of course, tensions are going to rise because nobody likes being shot by their friend, right? Trust me, I know. I have a friend who does that. It's like, not even for fun. It's just that he's just one of those where it's like he gets startled very easily. So that's why he sometimes team kills. So it tends to run the tempers pretty high. And for tStopPeeking, that's something they would like to avoid. So just take a deep breath, guys. Move into round number 8 with a fresher mind. And of course, it's easier said than done when you're playing for high stakes right now, of course, in a tournament like this. But it is what it is. Right now, we have ourselves a round 8 with Disciple looking to push into the bathroom side. And of course, second floor control for tStopPeeking. That's what they want to take right now.
Control it is maintaining the position. All players intact. There goes the RC car with a grenade. I got to see who is it going to be claimed. E-Clap is the one to get the kill, I believe so. Have to see. The position is definitely stronger. On the other side, Desmond slightly in a troublesome matter, but can manage it out. 5-2. Got to see if that can turn to 6-2 or not. And this is where Zero Kelvin is trying to buckle up as much as possible, get back into the game, and it's very much needed for them to make the mark as fast as they can.
That much is true. Meanwhile, we've got the blue hallway window here opened up. That, of course, means Mezzanine is going to be harder to defend on wider swings here, and that's exactly why Desmond is on this window here. He's got himself, of course, the Rotero drones that have, I think, taken out the shield on blue stairs as well. He's going to throw another one in just for safety's sake. Never mind. He's just going to decide not to do that instead. As, yeah, just reposition, get yourself in a place where you won't get shot from, hopefully. And it's all about taking control of second floor library. You get control of that part of the map, this site opens up like no other. Flashbangs being thrown right now, of course. The Jaeger will probably be able to intercept a couple of them, but never mind. Desmond finds one. That's one body down. Make that another. That's an attacker. Vinci to fall. Ooh. And interesting, as a 4v4 situation is in play, but second floor control is almost in the hands of the attackers. There was somebody on Mezzanine who dropped down instead. Good decision making right there. And Sharp Edge on the basement could potentially be the playmaker if he comes up at the right time.
Timing it is, that's a crucial one, of course. When it's a 4v4 situation, you have to coordinate a lot of shots trying to get connected. Not going to happen. Extremely into trouble. Immediately retaliates back. Try to retaliate wherein had to fall back. Correction over there. And meanwhile, back in it with the FAMAS. He has been doing it time and again in the prior maps. Yesterday as well. And the big one going off. Wow, wow, wow indeed. Down to 3v2. Let's go. tStopPeeking about to go for the 6th. Uh-oh. I said it early.
Wait, you had the Kawana Hive. It gave you the position of the castle. But even then, the castle managed to get the peek out. But the time is going to run out because the diffuser was dropped and the Grim had no time to go for the plant again. Miscommunication. I'm not sure why the Grim would choose to just turn away from the castle. You threw the Kawan Hive into pantry. At least take a second to see if that's going to reveal a defender position or not, because that is exactly where the castle was sitting. And that's exactly where he swung from, dropping the diffuser and taking precious time away from the attackers to go for the plant. Bodies dropping, yes, is one thing, but the time, you just did not have time to make a mistake like that. And that's exactly why tStopPeeking will lose that round. 3 rounds now, they've lost to Zero Kelvin, and especially that round is going to sting because they will feel that they had it. Definitely so. It's a round that they should have won, if you ask me, because they had control, they had everything going their way. Buckinator with the Twitch on blue stairs with those 2 very important kills. I understand that somebody on Kitchen Hallway might have caught him unawares, and that tends to happen, sure, but the rest of the team, Disciple, Disciple, and I believe it was Vinci, either that or Noob, whoever it was, should have played that a little bit more strategically, potentially dropping earlier, getting your Kawan hives in. Whatever could have been done should have been done. Won't stop peeking. We understand that you are, of course, in a really good position right now. Don't get me wrong, 5-3 is still strong, and of course they have the one map advantage, but at the same time, you just have to play to your strengths and get a clean victory where you have the chance. Giving a team, any team, the chance to make a comeback is dangerous because you run the risk of losing stamina quickly, and then, before you know it, even when you're playing seriously, you start losing rounds, and then eventually you lose the entire matchup before you know it. So that's something you want to avoid. And that's exactly what we hope to see from Zero Kelvin, from Won't Stop Peeking, I should say, as we have the push coming in onto Trench.
Lot of moves, and the moves are where the numbers will happen on the board. Disciple has a better position, expecting 2 kills out of him. Buckinator contributing the same, has some other hole in position. Just a quick peek is all that's needed. The side's covered, and this breach is going to make a big mark, but position slightly compromised. Vinci was not supposed to be going down like that. Disciple has to hold the position. He knows for sure. There goes a utility. The player making a quick peek, I believe so, and would immediately be deleted. That's what happened. And Cobra, for sure, did not expect. Disciple had the better angle over him. The next to go down is gonna be a big, but meanwhile a C4 play. Boom, and deleted.
Right, then Noob is going to get one in return. Sharpage is also on the ground, mind you. The revive coming out on the Thatcher, that's going to allow him to get back into the fray. And same for Sharpage, but both of them are low. Someone is peeking blue, and that's exactly why we had Buckinator, not the Thatcher, the Maverick, I should say, who got downed earlier, right? You need to be careful when it comes to how you choose to play this particular part of the map, because there's always going to be a C4 thrown, but there's also always going to be somebody holding blue and somebody holding the pillar in Wine Cellar. Those are very common angles. I'm not sure exactly why those weren't being watched, especially when the breach happened on the front wall facing the big garage. So, you know, a little bit, again, of errors coming out in the play style here. Disciple coming down main stairs. This is what I was saying earlier when Zero Kelvin was pushing this particular part of the map, is that somebody should have been playing that off angle, but he might get pushed here. He doesn't know. The blind side, and Buckinator to fall on the other end as well. It's all up to Noob, the last one standing. He might be able to get one, maybe two, but time is not on his side as he goes for the peak. He goes for the grenade toss. 3 seconds remain. He's in here. He gets one, but the time will run its course, and that will be another round to Zero Kelvin. We have ourselves a situation at hand here, folks, because that is now 4 rounds that Zero Kelvin have won, and the last 2, I have to say, Won't Stop Peeking has been making a cacophony of errors left and right, and it's giving Zero Kelvin more and more ground to stand on. WSP, whatever momentum he had from that first 5 rounds, it's gone. So you need to reset as we have the final bans coming in for map number 2.
A lot of reset is definitely needed. Mira and Gridlock off. This is something that I expected, but not with this intensity. Blackjack, I'm expecting a 5-5 right now. An equalizer for sure. And also, I'm kind of surprised what happened to Won't Stop Peeking one after the other. So many things that's been missed out. Needs to get covered as early as possible. I'm sure the team has a plan. Just while execution, something is going off, and that needs to be corrected as fast as it's possible. Because if it is 5-5, don't mind my words, it's definitely going to be 5-6.
I mean, a 6 and 5, well, that puts us into round number 12, Santa, and that, of course, is a round of ones, as I like to call it, as that will be 1 round for whoever is on the 6 point to win, but 1 round also for whoever's on 5 to push into overtime. And that, of course, is another shout in and of itself. But, with all that said, let's zoom back out a little bit. Or I should say zoom back in a little bit. Round number 10, we've got the second floor in play here for the defense. Zero Kelvin on a roll right now as they are looking to equalize in this matchup. going up to potentially the 5-5, right? The equalizer that we mentioned before. And from the other side, Won't Stop Peeking, well, they're going to need to try and figure something out because they have lost far more rounds than I think even they would be comfortable with. As we've got a couple of interesting selections here in terms of their operators. The Ash on Disciple, no more Grim, deciding to go for the Gunner instead. And of course, you've got the Dokkaebi ever present, but those meat jammers will make sure that not everybody gets affected by the Dokkaebi calls. With that said, of course, it all comes down to that final execution that Won't Stop Peeking has just not had good luck in.
Lot of moves, and I have to agree with that. I'm kind of excited, kind of looking forward for the play from Clap with the stun gun and the Vector in the hands of Cobra. He has been a menace to deal with, and time and again he has done it, even on the prior plays. At the same point of time, we have seen Buckinator and Disciple doing their things, and they are ready for the same. So the rifles in action against the SMGs, kind of to look forward for. Noob on the other side took a lot of damage. The DMR for the play seems as if he had an off angle, and it died troublesome for the player. Has to be really cautious.
That Frostmat making sure that Noob is low on health, of course, and that's the other thing about the Frostmats now, of course. They got a little rework to them that allows for attackers who get caught to stand back up, but now you're limping, you're making noise, you're bleeding, giving away your position constantly. But guess what? So will the global call going out from the logic bomb of the Dokkaebi, allowing for sound cues to be heard all over the map. Extreme is on first floor, and I don't think they know this. We've got Zofia using her stun. That's going to give away the fact that Altair is playing by the half wall, very close indeed. Vinci really wants to peek this. He might throw a flash and just, say to hell with it, but no, he's going to get the peek on the door. That's beautifully done. Altair to fall, and they've got to, get in the map. Fall in quickly. Buckinator, no, the disconnection at the worst possible time. We have another body coming down. Sharp Edge falls, and guess what? We have Extreme taking one of his own. That's on blue stairs. He's going to get taken down. Disciple falls as well. It's all up to 1v2. Desmond in this situation, he has very little intel. He knows one's in bathroom now, but where's the other defender? All the way in Solarium, and he's gonna get taken down. Clap comes around, and that is going to be another round 2-0. Kelvin, beautifully done from them, holding the ship despite losing so many bodies so quickly. And once again, I keep saying this over and over, where is your flank watch? Because Won't Stop Peeking, the entire reason their round and their execute got completely derailed is because not only did no one clear first floor, they didn't watch their flank, they didn't watch blue stairs, and that is why they lost so many bodies that quickly.
I'm certain this is going to get covered as early as possible. And not to forget, it's a similar situation that yesterday happened. And that's where Won't Stop Peeking kind of like made those, I won't say mistakes, wherein, it needs to be corrected, is what I would like to put across. Come on, up to the equalizer, and right from where we have seen the score at 0 Kelvin, definitely working their way up. And I can see the score going for 6-5 as well. So this is where the corrections need to happen, and it needs to happen pretty fast.
Absolutely it does. As right now we're just taking a bit of a pause here, folks. Won't Stop Peeking. They need that tech pause, of course, because they need to get Buckinator back in the lobby. And there we go. Speak his name and he shall arrive. And that, of course, completes that roster. Definitely needed. And that is one thing that I should probably point out. I was pretty harsh on Won't Stop Peeking at the end of the last round, but Buckinator's disconnection is not on anyone other than technical failures, which, again, no one's fault. So it is what it is. Buckinator probably could have been the difference maker in that round, but for now, they will simply have to move on. 5-5 is an equalizer for the side of 0 Kelvin, who have won 5 rounds in a row. And that is exactly what they were looking for, right? That's exactly what they were hoping for. They desperately needed it, and that is exactly what has happened. And that means, as we move into round number 11 shortly here, once we get the ready confirmation from both sides, that it's essentially a reset, right? It is now a glorified first to 2 here, and the first team to win 2 rounds, that is. And that means we will still see that 6-5. So your prediction was actually correct there, Santa. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But, yeah, 6-5, I'm excited. But what I'm most excited for is to see that if Won't Stop Peeking has taken this time to address the issues that are plaguing their team, which is flank watch and execution, folks, we have an exciting game on our hands now.
Exciting game indeed it is. Moving towards a mark where, now from here on, I'm kind of like predicting something at the same point of time. The way the match is going, my mind is telling me something, and we see the other fronts happening as well. So who gets the 6th is, who wins round number 11 will definitely leave a mark on the play. And you know what? Every victory kind of like leaves a mark on the mindset as well, and that's where kind of it falls apart, or maybe breaks things. From the side of Won't Stop Peeking, I'm slightly surprised if it is the same that's moving on or not. Now got to see how they will get situation under control.
It's really just a case of stopping the rounds that they're hemorrhaging right now. Won't Stop Peeking, right? They are losing. Well, I say are. They have lost so much ground that you really can't afford to lose in situations like this. You have to make sure that things go your way, right? That things are more comfortable for you as a team, and they just haven't really been able to do that. I'm not sure what changed, or something in the team dynamic was just not in their favor, maybe, potentially. We will never know. The point is that because things have ended up this way, they aren't able to quite fully, give themselves the runaround of what they need to change. Whether or not that, of course, comes down to their communication is yet to be seen, as, of course, we casters don't have access to their comms, and that, of course, is something that is reserved for, bigger grand final style matches. But for now, whatever their comms are going to be, it has to be calm, pardon the pun, as we have an attempt coming in to control the second floor. They've already wasted over a minute and a half on this, so whatever they need to do it quick, as 90 seconds remain on the clock.
90 seconds. This is where excitement begins. This is where the action begins, and we look forward for all of that. So the players as well buckled up, ready for the same quick peek and a denial immediately. Desmond is known for those quick shots. This Ibel contributes a heavy one. Now it is Winzy to move in. Meanwhile, you'll see I am now slightly taking a bit of damage. It's kind of a distraction that's working in the favor. Oh, Tukam still to work with. Unfortunately, Desmond falls, and that's kind of like looking not so good. Sharp Edge, known for the same. He'll go for the second as well. Ready for the same. But Disciple stops him on track. That was pretty much needed. Otherwise, it could have went into their favor. Of course, Alter, the last one standing, the man of the hour. He has to go for the 4. Not gonna be easy. He's cornered out. Covered from both the angles. It's a trap that has been set. Flush him out of the mark. He gets one, but Buckinator with the Famasa. Time and again, Buckinator rises up to the situation and gets the best out of it. I'm not sure why he turned back, particularly. Probably could be covering the hatchet. 6-5. 6-5 it is. So Blackjack, can we see a victory?
Well, I'll tell you what, Santa, that round definitely gives me more confidence in Won't Stop Peeking's playstyle and their chances to close things out on map number 2. After 5 rounds of what felt like that entire team had been put to sleep, they have woken back up. 6-5 is the scoreline. We are now in the round of ones, folks. Round number 12 is in play, and as I described before, 1 round for Won't Stop Peeking to win map number 2 outright on a 7-5 scoreline and finish off this entire game. However, 1 round for Zero Kelvin, to bring this back and turn this into an overtime situation, make it what is essentially a 1-2 once again. Can they do it? Will it be overtime, or will it not be? Find out on the next episode of I'm Just Kidding. We are, of course, now on round 12. It's going to get in. Action phase is going to start. And looking at the overall selection of operators here, I like it. They've got emphasis on breach between the Hibana and the Maverick. Excuse me, I had to take a second to remember his name. Thatcher, of course, always present, ever present when it comes to breaching. But I also like the use of Grim once again from Disciple, feeling a bit more confident to bring in a slightly more intel-heavy operator. And that, of course, you always love to see.
Yes, yes, and yes, indeed. Situation turning in their name won't stop picking. Definitely ready for the same. Getting excited. This round is going to be in either favor. 3 C4s to work with. That gets me excited. You know how much I like to look forward for the boom and the bang to happen. Okay, now 0 Kelvin, how are you going to take this round? As where it will completely decide whether you'll move forward or not. So both the teams are well prepared. They know it's high stakes and they need to get things done into their name as fast as it can be. Time is of the essence, and here's the moment that we are waiting for.
Desmond coming down Trent stairs right now. That's, of course, the exterior stairs. He's just going to hold it down for the moment. Now, of course, last time tStopPeeking decided to attack this particular match, I should say map, this part of the map, they had a moment where, unfortunately, they just didn't check their flanks. I say that all the time at this point. Extreme on the other side is going to get one. That's huge. As get taken down, I should say. That is huge because the roamer has been taken off the floor. And that is the Mozzie as well. So it's a good gunner who normally is able to be the playmaker for a lot of situations. Hatch is going to get taken care of in the same vein as well. Buckinator expending his bullets on the other side, taking a bit of damage to boot. Blue is being emphasized on slowly but surely as the breach onto blue, I should say onto deep trench should happen in just a second here. No one's going for it, but he's got more EMPs to help him out, help himself out here. As there we go, EMP will ring out. Of course, the kill rang out as well onto Altair. Sharp Edge will fall as well. All right. A much more confident tStopPeeking here as they have taken over the side. Grimm's bees are coming in. That's giveaway position to the bandit. Plant is happening successfully, potentially speaking, as we have the push coming out. Easy clap falls, and it's all down to Cobra. The last one standing in a 1v5. Where is this Goyo, folks? He is deep inside a big garage. His position is now given away, and all he can do is really peek, try to get one team kill from Desmond onto Noob once again, but of course this time it might not, you know, be as detrimental as it was the last time. He's also careful about somebody dropping Hatch behind him. He should be, and all right, not sure where the Grim was going, but it doesn't matter. Desmond will get that kill, and that, folks, will be the final round of this matchup. It took a moment. There was a lot of highs and definitely some low lows. However, it will be tStopPeeking to win 7-5 in their favor and a 2-0 on the map count.
I won't lie here. I kind of like expected the score to be like 7-2 and it would be a close. Definitely a lot of fight from 0 Kelvin in this particular map. Kudos to the play. Amazingly executed plan over here, and they made it happen. 7-5 against tStopPeeking. Fabulous indeed, and I'm excited. Particularly, they got me with the C4 play. I wanted some more explosions, Blackjack. I mean, who wouldn't, right? Who wouldn't?
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. A couple more C4 explosions would have been definitely fantastic to see, but at the end of the day, it is a 2-0. And a BO3, that means tStopPeeking has won, and they're going to be our second grand finalists for tomorrow, folks, facing off once again, I should say, against Team Uwu. So that's going to be a grudge match and a half, that is for sure, and a long-standing rivalry between teams that have played in this region for a very, very long time. But with that said, of course, you know, big shout outs to the side of 0 Kelvin. They gave us a good game at the end of the day. And even though the scoreline will say 2-0 going forward from here, that second map, they will always remember as it got very, very close indeed. It was a 5-5 and 5 straight rounds to take away from a team like tStopPeeking. Yeah, no, that's well played to them at the end of the day. So take heart, 0 Kelvin. They have shown us great potential, and we do hope to see them back in future tournaments across South Asia. as they are a team that could make a name for themselves. We will wait and see how far they can go. But with all that said, of course, that brings us to the end of this particular matchup, this particular BO3 that happened today, folks. And it was certainly an enjoyable one. It started off a little bit samesies as yesterday, right? With the 7-1 on map number 1, felt pretty similar to yesterday's beginning. However, we saw quite the shift around in map 2, and I'll definitely say that it gave me a lot to be excited for.
Game to be excited for, and was waiting for a lot more. And indeed, as expected, very well deserved victory. Won't Stop Peeking. They had the plan in action and they got the job done. Time and again they rose up to the situation and has made the mark. I'm still excited, slightly fumbling on the words. Because the shots that's been done, the executions, the quick peaks, and a lot of things, a lot of action occurred. So here comes the numbers. They speak for the same. 12-8, 8-7, 8-10, 11-10, 11-9. Wow, indeed. On the other side, a sharp edge, sharp play, buddy. 11-10, an amazing score as well. 80%. Had it been a little more contribution from Extreme Cobra, Clap and Alter, it could have been different. But then again, you know what? We can always say that, if this happens, that happens. If that happens, something else happens. Also, 2-0 is something which I didn't expect. I kind of felt like 2-1. Looks forward.
Well, a 2-1 certainly would have been exciting. Yes, indeed. That was not the case ultimately, of course. As that comeback was stopped in its tracks, the hopes were dashed. And we saw Won't Stop Peeking win fully. And at the end of the day, we are, of course, always here for more Rainbow Six, and that's exactly what's going to happen soon. But don't you worry, folks. We have this stat screen. And I think all things considered, like you said, we can always sit here and speculate on, what could have been done. Maybe this could have been different. Maybe that could have been different. Hindsight is 50-50. However, at the end of the day, what matters most is that they are able to get the rounds that they need and win the engagements that they are, engaging in. Excuse me, voice crack, not sure what happened there. Point is, we have ourselves a grand finals that is certainly quite exciting indeed, as it is a repeat of what happened in upper bracket finals, I should say, a rematch, not a repeat. If that were a repeat, I will say that I would have words for both teams. Like, come on, guys, you fought through the lower bracket only to then have the same outcome. Well, that's certainly not what we want to see from Won't Stop Peeking, but that will be for tomorrow. As right now, of course, that brings us to the end of this particular night of Rainbow Six matches. So, with that said, folks, once again, big shout outs to the teams that played, and of course, big shout out to the side of Zero Kelvin, who will have to settle for podium position, or place 3 as we like to call it, 3rd place, and 10,000 INR to themselves. It's not a bad place to be in, especially in the face of giants like Won't Stop Peeking and Team Woo. So, well played to them, all things considered, and of course, congratulations to Won't Stop Peeking for the grand final spot, at the very least, even if they unfortunately may not win tomorrow or win, we don't know yet, of course. There is still 2nd place for them. But With that said, of course, once again, big thank you to production here at the Lenovo and Intel Presents India's Top Gamer featuring Mythpat for having us on and for giving us these exciting games. Once again, thank you, Santa, for joining me. I've been your host, Blackjack, and before we sign off, Santa, any closing thoughts on the match we've had today?
More C4s. That's all I'll say. Aman, I'm not. Can't I ask for a little more of explosion on the maps? And in Shala, it's quite possible, right? So maybe tomorrow, let's see if Shala gets into the pool of the maps, and that's final tomorrow. So I need a lot of explosions. Come on, get us a bit of excitement. And that's where, we can get those teeny tiny clips. You know what I'm speaking about, right? You can proudly say that in such a big tournament, this is the explosion I did. I made someone fly. May not be that exciting for the others, but yeah, look forward for more tomorrow. Buckle up, because if you thought that, day 1 and day 2 was so exciting and so fabulous, the grand finals are going to be bigger and better.
Oh, absolutely. With that said, folks, I do believe it is time to sign off for us here at the desk. And with that said, thank you once again for joining us. Thank you for Productions for having us. And thank you, Santa, for joining me on this cast once again. We'll be back tomorrow with the grand finals. Timu Wu versus Won't Stop Peeking. I almost said 0 Kelvin right there. Timu Wu versus Won't Stop Peeking in a best of 5. That's right, folks, tomorrow. So mark your timers. Get your food ready for tomorrow. And with that said, we'll be signing off for tonight. Stay tuned and good night.